By the late 19th century, the brightest scientific minds on Earth were desperately trying to achieve powered flight, and many of those well-funded pioneers paid for it with their lives. The leading experts kept hitting the exact same wall. They treated the sky like a flat track. They assumed you could just strap a heavy engine to wings and power through the air, ignoring the chaotic, three-dimensional reality of wind currents. Wilbur Wright was quiet, observant, and intensely analytical. After a severe facial injury derailed his plans to attend Yale, he spent years reading extensively and honing his ability to dissect complex problems. His younger brother, Orville, was energetic and highly entrepreneurial. Neither brother held a university degree. Neither had formal scientific backing. So how did two self-taught outsiders manage to solve an engineering puzzle that had repeatedly broken the world's most educated scientists? Their lack of academic training actually protected them from the flawed assumptions of the era. They didn't approach flight as an abstract theory to be debated in a university hall. They treated it as a purely mechanical problem to be built, tested, and fixed with their own two hands. The brothers began their mechanical education as teenagers by starting a printing business. Instead of buying standard equipment, they designed and built their own custom printing presses, learning exactly how to maximize efficiency and precision in moving parts. When the bicycle boom hit America in the 1890s, they pivoted. They opened the Wright Cycle Company in Dayton, Ohio, earning a living by repairing, designing, and manufacturing their own bicycles. Bicycles taught them a completely different way to think about motion. You cannot ride a bike by keeping it perfectly flat and simply turning the handlebars. You have to lean. You constantly shift your weight to manage dynamic, continuous balance. They realized an aircraft battling wind gusts wasn't a heavy glider, it was a bicycle in 3 dimensions. To stay airborne, the pilot needed a way to actively balance the machine in real time. Before they could navigate the unpredictable, 3-dimensional chaos of the sky, they spent years mastering the physical mechanics of 2-dimensional balance down on the ground. When they finally turned their attention to the sky, they ignored the failed designs of other inventors. Instead, they spent hours watching birds, observing how they minutely adjusted the angles of their wings to maintain stability in sudden gusts of wind. This led to their breakthrough concept, wing warping. If a pilot could physically twist the outer edges of the wings in opposite directions, the air pressure would force the entire aircraft to roll left or right, giving the pilot total control. They organized the puzzle of flight into 3 distinct separate problems: lift, propulsion, and control. While the rest of the world was obsessing over bare engines for propulsion, the Wrights obsessed almost entirely over control. They traveled to the high winds and soft sands of Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, to test their theories. But their initial gliders in 1900 and 1901 failed to produce the lift they expected. The widely accepted scientific data they had based their math on was completely wrong. This chart shows the massive gap between the flawed aerodynamic data accepted by the scientific community and the tight new curve of reality. To get these precise measurements, the brothers built a custom wind tunnel in the back of their Dayton bicycle shop. They tested over 200 different miniature wing shapes, single-handedly generating the first accurate aerodynamic data in human history. Armed with the right math, they built the Wright Flyer. They carved highly efficient wooden propellers, designing them as rotating wings rather than boat screws, and had their shop mechanic, Charlie Taylor, build a lightweight 12-horsepower aluminum engine from scratch in just 6 weeks. On the morning of December 17, 1903, years of laboratory research turned into physical fact. Orville took the controls and held the machine 120 feet above the sand for 12 seconds. They didn't blindly leap into the air and hope for the best. They isolated the variables, discarded bad data, and systematically rewrote the physical laws of aerodynamics until the machine had no choice but to fly. The immediate reaction from the public was almost non-existent. Most newspapers completely ignored the event. Prominent critics openly accused the brothers of lying about the flights. Instead of fighting the press, the brothers went back to work in secret. By 1905, they had refined their design into the Wright Flyer 3, a machine that could turn, fly in circles, and stay airborne for over half an hour. It was the world's first truly practical airplane. The secrecy finally broke in 1908, when Wilbur took the aircraft to France for a series of public demonstrations. Thousands of spectators watched him effortlessly carve circles in the sky. Overnight, the skepticism vanished, and the global press declared them the greatest aviators on Earth. Governments immediately took notice. In 1909, the U.S. Army purchased its first aircraft, moving aviation from the realm of experimentation into the center of national defense. Over the following decades, the technology cascaded outward. Wood and canvas evolved into metal commercial airliners that connected continents. Global supply chains shifted to the air, and the exact same three-axis control principles the brothers invented were eventually used to stabilize rockets leaving the atmosphere. Every piece of that modern aerospace network traces back to a single origin point. It exists because of the mechanical intuition, the precise data collection, and the relentless determination of two bicycle